All right, beautiful people. Here we are back with our regression. And I told you that on this instance, I was going to show you how to graph this regression line that we came up with. Okay. So I did it off of this gray one right here. Hopefully you can see that. And that gray line goes to wheat plant number 3. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to move my graph out of the way a little bit. Here's my wheat plant number 3, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a column right here so I can put this formula on this column. So I'm going to go to the top. Notice that my arrow turns to a black down arrow. When it's like that, I'm going to left click the mouse, left click. That highlights the column. And then I'm going to right click the mouse and I'm going to click on insert, and that inserts a column in there so I can do whatever I want in there. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something that is not told in any Excel manual in any class. We're going to take this equation right here and we're going to copy it over here. So starting at the equal sign, highlight that all the way to the right, not the R squared, just the equation starting at the equal sign. On your computer, on your keyboard, press Control C to copy. Then go to this cell right here and press on Control V to paste. There it is. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change these X's, because in case you don't realize this, X is the independent variable. And the independent variable is a number of weeks over here. So now we're going to tell Excel how to do this, okay? So double click on this cell, just like so. And then between the coefficient and the X, that's a multiplication in algebra, okay? The way that you tell Excel to multiply is you do Shift 8. That's a multiplication. What are we multiplying? We're multiplying by X. What is X? X is this cell right here, A3. So I'm going to click on it. When I click on it, A3 appears on my dialog box. Do you see that? I can press delete once to get rid of the X. And that too, if you don't remember, that was an exponent. So to tell Excel that it's an exponent, we do Shift 6. There we go. We finished our first term. Now we've got one more to do over here. So I'm going to click between the 4 and the X right there. Remember, in algebra, that's multiplication. So to tell Excel multiplication, we're going to go Shift 8. We're going to click on X, which happens to be cell A3. I'm going to click on it. There it is. I'm going to hit delete once to get rid of the X. And now when I hit enter, I get this equation right there on that cell. Okay. I'm going to copy that all the way down. And to do that, I'm going to click on the cell again. I'm going to move to the lower right-hand corner till my cursor turns into a black cross. I'm going to double click, and that copies it all the way down. Isn't that beautiful? So those numbers that we have here, those are the numbers of this little dotted line, this regression line that we have here. That's our best fit. Okay. So what we do here is we go plant 3, well, let's go best fit. Best fit. That way we know what those numbers mean. Okay? So what I want you to do is to do this with the other 2 plants. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do it 2 more times, and then I want you to try to do the same thing. Okay, so here's the first one. I'm gonna move this out of the way because we're done with that one. Now let's do the other one. Let's click on the orange one. Okay, so we're gonna click on the orange one the orange line in order to do a regression. So I'm gonna click on it, right mouse button, add trend line. Your format trend line dialog comes out. Remember, you're going to click on display equation on chart and R squared at the bottom, these two down here. When you do that, this comes up. See that? So we're going to go back to this. And I got to tell you, the default for this was linear. And that looks pretty good. Look at that, 0.98. That's really high. Should we try something else? Well, let's try logarithmic. Let's see what that does. Nope, that's worse. Let's try polynomial. That's not so good. But if we go to linear, that's pretty good. So we're going to leave it there on linear. Okay. Now we have our best. We have another fit. I'm going to move that to the middle. So I got one on the left here. I got one in the middle. And that's the orange one. The orange one is plan 2. See where it's orange here? Plan 2. So just like before, here's plan 2. I can go to the column to the right of it, above it, so we have a down arrow. I'm going to left click to highlight the column. I'm going to right click to insert. And now I can grab this equation right here. I click on the box. I highlight from the equal sign to the right. Don't take the Y. If you take the Y, Excel doesn't know what to do with that. Take from the equal sign to the right. Control C to copy. Control V to paste. Okay. Double click on the box. Here we have a multiplication. Remember, that's Shift 8. And then we have X, which is the independent variable, which is cell A3. We're going to delete the X. We're going to hit enter. Bam, we're done. Now we're going to click on that cell, move the cursor to the lower right hand corner, double click on it, and there's the rest of your data for that orange line. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to type in best fit. Okay, I'm going to do it a third time so that you guys can keep track of what I'm doing. Something I don't like about this is how many decimal points I have here. Look at how you can change this. Just highlight your numbers, and then in the home tab, under number, you can either decrease the number of decimal points or you can increase them. Me, I'm going to decrease until I get only 2. Okay, just like so. Very nice. All right, let's do this a third time. The only one I haven't done is the blue one. So I'm going to click on the blue one. Okay, right mouse button, add trend line. We're going to go display equation and R square. And linear gives us 0.97. If I go logarithmic, that's worse. If I go polynomial, that seems to be better. That's unfortunate, because this is a more complicated equation. That's all right, we can deal with it. So there's the third equation right there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that one. All right, I'm going to X out of there. And remember, we did the blue one. The blue one is plant 1. Here's plant 1. So to the right one, I'm going to move above that column, click on it, right mouse button, insert. I'm going to go over here to my chart. I'm going to highlight my equation from the equal sign all the way to the right. Control C to copy. Control V as in Victor to paste. I'm going to double click on it. That's a multiplication. That's Shift 8. I'm going to multiply by A1. And then I'm going to hit delete to get rid of the X. And I need to raise it to the second power. That's going to be Shift 6. Now I have to deal with the second term. So right here between the 8 and the X, I'm going to click right there. I'm going to multiply. And I multiply by A1. And I'm going to get rid of the X. That's it. I'm done. Hit enter. There it is. Click on the cell. Move the cursor to the lower right hand corner. Click all the way down. Decrease the number of decimal points to 2 so it matches the others. And then we're going to type in best fit. There. You've seen it 3 times. You've seen it 3 times, so that means you should be able to do it, okay? You can highlight all these cells right here above. Move the cursor between 2 of them, just like that, so it turns into a double arrow. Double click, and it'll make it smaller for you so everything fits. So what I want you to do is practice doing this and making one of these charts. If you feel really good about this, you can do it with the right plans on the right and do a second chart. Okay? But there's your 3 equations for your best fit data. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and take this moment to show you how to do an average. Okay? That paper, it tells you how to do an average, but we're lazy scientists. We don't have to do it that way. Here we're going to do an equal sign that lets Excel know that we're going to do an average. And then we type average. We open the parentheses, Shift 9, highlight what you're going to take an average of, hit enter, and there's my average. I can do it again with my with the next set of information here. So in fact, I'm pretty lazy. I'm not going to do it that way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this cell, and I'm going to drag it across like so. And then I'm going to delete the ones that I don't want, which is this one and that one. Then I'm going to highlight my cells. Make sure I only have 2 decimal points. There we are. Look at that. Very, very nice. Okay, let me show you how to do a standard deviation. So the paper from Carolina tells you how to calculate standard deviation on your calculator. That's too much work. This is the way I do it. Equal sign. Standard, right? And then if you look here, one of your choices is standard deviation .p and standard deviation .s. One is for population, one is for sample. Ours is kind of small, so we're going to go with sample. So we're going to click on it, double click on it. There it is on your cell. We're going to highlight the numbers, and then we're going to hit enter, and there's your standard deviation. If you want to do the other ones, you just move the cursor to the lower right hand corner like this, drag it across, there they are. And then you get rid of the ones you don't want. Excel lets you be very, very lazy. I'm going to highlight everything, and I'm going to lower the number of decimal points. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And I'm going to center them. Bam. Done. Okay. So what do I want? Once you're done with this, okay, I want you to grab this. I want you to grab this chart, do a Control C to copy, bring up a Word document, WO. There's my Word document. Okay. You don't need to put your name on there, because Turnitin will tell me who you are. And then your Word document, go ahead and do a Control. Actually, you can paste it here. So right mouse button and then you can go through the choices. I'm going to do picture, which is the last one. And there it is. Okay. Go ahead and center it. And then just for the fun of it, go ahead and do, whoops, let's not do that. Just for the fun of it, go ahead and add your average and your standard deviation. Just like so. Copy. Go to your Word document. Okay, go to your Word document and paste it. Right mouse button, that gives you the choices. I'm going to go with maybe that second one right there. I'm going to center my table. And we have to be careful. I don't have titles in here. I don't like that. So I'm going to highlight this row, right mouse button, and I'm going to insert rows above. Okay. And on the rows, I'm going to put, I'm going to be lazy, okay? I'm going to put plant 1, plant 2, plant 3. At the end of the day, I just want you guys to know how to do linear regression, graphing, linear regression, and learn how to put equations in Excel. So this is all I'm asking out of you, okay? I encourage you to try to do the right plans also, so you gain experience, but this is enough. Go ahead and put that to turn it in, and we'll call it a day. Thank you.